Google Docs is baked into Google Drive. Now, if you've used Microsoft Word before, you'll be pretty familiar with the user interface. We're going to walk through how to use it today. Now, first, you're going to want to navigate to Google Drive. Now, once you're there, you can navigate to the folder that you'd like to create the file in. And that's important because otherwise your file system can become quite disorganized. Once you're in the folder that you'd like to create the file in, click on the blue New button on the top left-hand side. From there, you can click on Google Docs, and your browser will load a new window. From within there, on the top left-hand side, you can give the document whatever name you'd like. Doesn't matter if there's duplicate names in that folder. Google doesn't really care because every file has a unique file name, and you can see that on the top right-hand side of the URL that your browser has loaded. So we're going to give this document the name test document. Now from here we have the traditional menu that you're probably used to from most of the programs that you're using today, whether on Windows or Mac. So if you click on File, you'll have a list of menu options. From here you can control the sharing settings of the file, you can create a new document, you can go open to open an existing one, you can rename it, and this would perform the exact same function that we just completed by clicking and typing in the name in the top left-hand side. You can make a copy of this, so if you have an existing document that you'd like to work with and you want to make a new copy and work from those changes, you can simply make a copy or a duplicate of that document. Now, it's important to note that this will create a copy of the file in the exact same folder that the original was located in. You can choose to move the file to a new location using the Move To option, or you can move it to your trash bin. Now, your trash doesn't automatically empty itself, so that's one thing to keep in mind. As you delete files, they just sort of sit there until you go and choose to purge your trash bin. See Revision History is a very unique feature to Google Docs and the Google suite of products. When you click on See Revision History, a new window is going to load up on top of the document that gives you the history of that document itself. So every change that's made will be listed on the right-hand side, and we'll revisit this a little bit later after we've made a few changes. Back on the File menu, I can click Language if I wanted to change the language of the document itself, or I can download it as a format that I might be more familiar with or need to share with someone else. So for example, you can work on a document in the Google format itself. Once you're finished, you can save it and export it as a Microsoft Word document, and anyone who's got Word or Office on their system will be able to open that file for you. You can use open document format, rich text, a PDF. This is a great one if you're working on a proposal or something that you might be emailing out. It's always a good option to export it as a PDF so that you know how that document's going to look when you send it to someone. It'll maintain the same formatting, the same images, the same look and feel. So PDF is a good format to use when emailing documents. Plain text, web page, or an EPUB format. So those are all available to you. You can publish the document itself and make it available to anyone through a web browser. That's the Publish to Web option. And if you've got a group of collaborators that already have access to this file, rather than emailing them through your inbox, which you can do, you can simply click on Email Collaborators. And when you click on this, it's going to pull up a box. In this case, I haven't shared it with anyone, so it's going to ask me first to share it with someone. If I had shared it with a group of people, they would already be listed there, and I could simply send that off, or those comments off to the group of collaborators. I can email as an attachment, so by clicking on File and Email as Attachment, I don't have to jump back and forth between my email. I can simply choose the format that I'd like to email. Again, PDF is the default because it's typically the most portable and most user-friendly format for someone to open up on a cell phone or a device of any type. I can type who I'd like to send this to. I can give it a subject line and type a message. So once I've completed the email, I can check off the box there to send a copy to myself as well, and then I just click send, and that'll send that email off to the address that I've typed in there. Moving down, we can go to document details, and from here it'll show us when it was originally created, when it was last modified, and where it's located. Page setup, so if you want to adjust your margins, we can do that from here, the page size or the page color. And last but not least, in the File menu, we can print the document. Now, as you'll notice, there's keyboard shortcuts that show up beside a couple of these, and that allows you right from your keyboard without clicking on the menu option. And if I was to click Command P or Control P if using Windows, I would immediately bring up the print dialog box without having to use my mouse. Moving across, we've got your traditional undo or redo options. If you make a mistake, you can do copy and paste. Paste without formatting is a useful one. If you have something that you've copied from an email, if you choose the paste without formatting option, it will strip out any links or specific fonts or colors. So if someone sent you an email and you're copying and pasting from the email, it's usually a good option to paste without formatting so that the content assumes the font and coloring and styling of the document that you're actually working on when it's pasted in. Moving down, you can go select all, select none, and then of course find and replace to search within your document. The view menu has some options pertaining to your view. If you're working from a laptop and you need a little bit more screen space, you can go to full screen or compact controls. The insert menu gives you a number of options around inserting content into the document. So you might want to add a link or a photo or a drawing or a chart or a table. That can all be done from the insert menu. A couple of ones I'll highlight here is horizontal line is useful if you want to separate content on your document. You may want to add page numbers or page count or both, so that the document will list page 1 of 3, for instance, and you can choose where you want that to go, whether it's on the header or the footer of the document, by using these options here. You can add a page break, which will jump down to the next page, and you can create a bookmark or a table of contents. So if you have been using the formatting we'll go through shortly around headers, H1, H2, and so on and so forth, once you've done that, you can use a table of contents that automatically updates itself as the document itself changes and grows. Under the format option, we've got styling, so bold, italicize, underline, subscript, superscript. You can control all of that through here. If you'd like to change your paragraph styles, your text, how it's being aligned on the page, your line spacing, columns, if you want to create a list, whether it's a numbered list or a bulleted list, you can do that from here as well. You can specify your capitalization. And if you've got formatting on the document, for instance, if you've got text that's got bold or italicized text or specific colors, you can clear all of that out just by clicking on the clear formatting option. If you've got images in the file, you can crop the image or do some basic image editing right within the Google Doc. Under Tools, we've got spell check. We can explore and define are more research-based tools. So if you've got a word you're looking for a definition on, you can use that, or to learn more about a topic, you can use the explore option. Word count is often handy if you have a requirement as to how many words you're looking for. Voice typing is transcription. So if you're looking to get a document hammered out quite quickly and you want to just speak to your computer, that's what that's for. You can do translations, and there's some more advanced features as well with being able to embed scripts, which would be similar to macros in the Microsoft world. Tables, you can create a table of any size and shape based on your requirements, and once you do that, it'll be inserted into the document for you. Once you have a table in place, you can change your formatting by using the options under the table menu. If you've installed any add-ons for Google Docs, or you'd like to install some add-ons that add additional functionality, that's what the add-ons menu is for. All of these options across the menu bar here are repeats of what we've just looked at. So for instance, print, undo, redo, paste. You can change your zoom and fit of the page on your screen, as well as your fonts and how everything is going to look and feel in the document itself. All right, so let's add some content to this document. Just going to add a little bit of text. We'll insert a page break, and on the second page, we're going to add a table. All right, so once we've got a table there and we've got some content, we can now make some changes to that content. So let's say I want to make this bold. I can go up click on bold on the menu, go to format, and I could strike this out. Go up here and let's change the font on this one. And we'll change this to a title, change this to a heading, and we'll go up to the top. We'll create one more heading here. And we'll insert a page break. And on the first page, we're just going to create a table of contents. Once you've added it, you can just click on it and choose the reload option. And you can see it's automatically formatted that table of contents for me. So now that we've made some changes, what if someone accidentally overwrote those changes? Well, the beautiful part about this is we can go back and we can override those changes and revert back to previous versions. We do that from the See Revision History option under the File menu. So here you can see I've got two main changes. I've got the original document, which was blank, and that's when I opened it today. And I've got the version of the document that we just looked at. Now, what about all the versions between? Well, we can actually look at those by expanding the drop-down and by looking at each individual change. And you can see that those changes are actually highlighted for me. So if you've got multiple people working on the document at the same time, which can happen on a Google Doc, and you've got all sorts of changes happening, this is a great way to go back and see what happened and when. The last thing we're going to look at is comments. Now, if you're working on a document with someone, from time to time you're going to need to add and make comments on the file. You may have a few collaborators and you're getting feedback from a couple of different people. Now, how that works is when you select text, you can note the add comment icon on the right hand side. And there's a few places to get there. You can also click on it from the menu, or if I go insert, comment, it's also there as well. And as you can see beside there, there is a keyboard shortcut. So if I click on comment, I can add a comment in here. And anyone who has access to this document is going to see these comments, and they can add their own, and you can start to collaborate back and forth. Now, once the comment itself is actually dealt with, it's a little bit hidden on the right hand side, but you can actually click the resolve button and the comment will go away. So once you've made a decision to make a change, you've commented back and forth a little bit, you can click resolve, those comments go away, and you've got your final version of the document. So those are some of the basics with Google Docs. You can get in, you can start playing around with some of the functionality. There's lots more that you can do with this, but there's a good start for you today.